Eric
Uh, yeah, okay. Not bad, not bad. And we also doing this on time almost. We almost did it, y'all. Hello, welcome back, everybody. It's Emos the Witness. Welcome back to the Phil Show. I think we're episode 44. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, as you guys know, the Phil Show stands for What the Fuck I Look Like, and we're back. March 24th, 2020, y'all. We're gonna dig into all the news and the politics of the day. I am your host, Emos the Witness. And as I stated, you can catch me downtown live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Bring you a new political perspective, a new analysis on what's going on in the world today. So let me be your guide. Let me be your witness. Let's walk together, yo. Let's find the truth. Let's walk together and let's expose the tyranny. Again, you catch me downtown at 120 East Market Street. Like me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I am Emos the Witness, working downtown with two of the hottest media moguls, media engineers in the game, Malik and Wyatt, here at Wave One Media. So Malik, let's get into it, man. Let's cut back this background music and let's bring some background music. I should cut down this intro music. And let's dig into the news of the day. It's a wacky Wednesday. I've been looking through a lot of articles and looking through, like I said, I have an economic concern when it comes to this country. A lot of money's being doled out. I'm seeing a lot of $1 trillion packages by the Biden administration that worries me. But I see economic indicators that are confusing. I want to get into that today too. And I want to get into COVID as well. In particular, some of the new restrictions, I would say, or maybe some of the new policies that might be coming down the pipeline. So I want to dig into that and get you informed on what the big wigs are thinking in regards to vaccinations and in the future as far as opening up and being a normal country again. Some things you may be comfortable with, some things you may not agree with or like, and some things are very disturbing. So I want to get into that in today's episode. But the Field Show, Emos the Witness. Good afternoon, or actually good morning still. It's still morning. Very glad to have you guys on the show. Like I said, when I started this show, I started back in late December of last year with the mindset of just trying to bring a new voice to politics, a new voice to the political arena, to the overall culture of society. I think there's not enough voices out there, whether you are on the left side of the aisle or the right side of the aisle. What's important is that you have a voice and that you speak out against oppression, against assaults on the Constitution, assaults on your right to vote, your right to protest, your right to freedom of speech, your right to bear arms. All those things are under attack and more. Your right to privacy. And we're going to get into all that. That's what this show's about. In 2016 and 2020, and even before that for myself in 2012, I just felt a lot of deception, in politics, in particular on the national level. How many millions of Americans went to the voting booth in 2016 just to begin with and was shocked and surprised at who won? And the same thing for millions of Americans happened in 2020. And if you look at the details, if you analyze what's going on today and what's been going on for the last 10 years or beyond, the media has had a hold on society's narrative for a long time. They control the narrative. So and so if you're being steered one way, but society feels a different way, you look up and there's results that you did not expect. You have to ask yourself, where are you getting your information from? Where are you getting your media from? Where are you getting your news from? Are you diverse in your sources? Are there enough sources out there? Is it too much of a lean on one side than the other? And you're not getting the opinions that you agree. People aren't representing your views or your standpoints. Well, I encourage you to come out and get a show. Do an editorial, talk to people, communicate, inform yourself so that when 2022 comes around and 2024 and all these future elections happen, you'll be more informed to make the right decision. And as Emos the Witness, I want to be your guide to sort through these issues, sort through these news articles when people send us information or try to steer a certain way because they have power in their own right. We have to push back and see if they're on our side or not, and where the truth lies. Are there any hidden agendas? So this show is aimed to expose hidden agendas, to inform you, to enlighten you, just with different angles, different perspectives of a way to look at an issue. I don't aim to teach. I don't aim to preach. I just aim to inform, and together we come up with the right answers. We come up with an analysis that we all can agree with, hopefully, and we can agree to disagree. And I'm not someone who spews information and then doesn't accept correction. I want accuracy, So when I started this show in late December, it was for that purpose. So we can't have some kind of monopoly in media as we currently see, and we're partly to blame, right? U.S. citizens, the world as a whole. Anybody who continues to watch the same channel over and over again, or get the information from one source, you got to bear some responsibility for that. And that's what we aim to do. We aim to spread that out, make it more diversified in the media, the news content, and the news point and the point of view when it comes to the news. So, like I said, hit that like, subscribe button. I am Emos the Witness. You can catch me on YouTube. You can catch me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we're gonna take this show to a new level. We're gonna take this show to a level in which we make it hot, and we also have an impact internationally, have an impact worldly, but most importantly, and also locally. Have an impact, have an influence, so that when you go to the voting booth, your vote truly counts. When there's an issue that arises, you're informed that you have your stamp, and the powers that be and the leaders know where you lie. Our goal, our challenge, though, is to get them to actually enforce that will. How many times has your politician or your elected leader not represent you well, or your views? They're their own hidden agendas. On Friday, Freestyle Friday, I'm actually going to get into an article, and I'm going to tap on it a little bit today at the end of the show, of how rich some Obama officials have became since they left the Obama administration. How much money they've made thus far, after that and before and during that time. You'll see the level of corporate greed or corporate influence. How many boards did these people sit on? How much money did they make during that time? And they're still lining their pockets today. Now they're just back into the Biden administration at this point. Enriching yourselves in the halls of leadership. Maybe there's some merit to that. Maybe there's some benefit to being a politician that we should accept. Maybe we shouldn't always harp on corruption. Maybe we shouldn't so much harp on. Maybe we shouldn't harp on things that maybe we perceive as corruption that aren't. Maybe that if you get elected to office and you do a great job, or you get elected to office and you're in the know, some shit you just can't help. If you're talking to these corporations and you're talking to these different companies, and you're working on deals, you're working on ways to make policy better, and you come across some information that's beneficial to you from a personal investing standpoint, how can you ignore that information? How can you not leave a White House meeting with, Johnson & Johnson and say, damn, I need to go buy some Johnson & Johnson stock based on this meeting we just had? I know what the fuck's gonna. Is that a benefit you can't control as a politician? And I'm jumping around a little bit, but I want to definitely want to touch into how much money these politicians have been making. They're like Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters, for example, Susan Rice. They've made made a lot, and a lot of it's legit. A lot of it seems legit. We say there's the mayor of Baltimore, actually, I forgot her name, but she's actually under investigation for her. She bought 2 houses in Florida recently. The not mayor, I'm sorry, but the attorney general for Baltimore. I read her article. Everything she seemed to do was pretty legit. But she's under investigation. It has a lot of reviews of her past tax documents and bank records, and that's what we need. But at the same time, when I analyze a lot of these reports, I do see a sense of hanky panky, but I also do see a sense of strong financial positions before they even became elected officials. What I do see, actually, there's a hypocrisy between this administration and the previous administration, on how the media has handled these reviews. Such subtlety, such niceness when it comes to the Democrats. Full disclosure, what could be, what might be. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But the Trump administration, the Southern District of New York is still investigating. They've had his tax records for the last 3 weeks. We haven't heard a peep. Again, Trump was the most vetted president we ever had in U.S. history. For 4 years, he's been reviewed, investigated. The man don't drink. The man didn't smoke. Don't smoke. Clean as a whistle. You take your drawers. Back in the day, you take your drawers off, you got that little shit streak right down the middle. Trump don't have that. They investigate this dude cleanly. I'm not gonna let you look like shit, but I gotta say something about the shit streak. It's like, damn, we got a microphone quick. Like, damn. No, don't worry about that. But yes, America, that's how clean Teflon Don is. Now, look, I told you guys in previous episodes that I'm a Trump supporter. Now, I'm not a Republican. I guess you have to give me a title. You can say I'm independent, but you can't follow me, America. You know, I've witnessed this shit for the last 8 years, and I'm fed up. You explain to me how I got to this point. That's what you need to do. What turned me from a groupthink family, all in together, Democrat voting, black male, switch up and say, you know what, I'm going to be a Trump supporter. That's what I did in 2012. I don't want to give sometimes it looks like I said, I've never done a show before. So for me, I jump around a lot, and I do have an order, but it's important for you to know my beginnings, right? It's important for you to know how I got to this point. You know, I'll give you a quick summary. Before, when Obama got elected, as everybody, this story is kind of becoming common among black males, or some anyway. But you know, like I said, man, you get Obama in office, a lot of hope, a lot of opportunity, a lot of inspiration. But then you see a lot of fluff. You see a lot of either wolves in sheep clothing, or a lot of deception, or a lot of do nothing politics. And if you look back at that administration, it was a secretive administration. It was a corrupt administration. It was a imposing administration. It was draconian. It was draconian in some way, definitely in regards to foreign policy. And you're right to privacy as well. There are a lot of things that happen in the Obama administration that need to be exposed, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, I aim to truly cover that in this show. You know, I tell people all the time, this politics is like a movie. This is the greatest movie that the world has ever seen. This is the greatest. I mean, you're a part of it. This is a movie, ladies and gentlemen. If you know the casting characters, you know who's good and who's evil. You're watching this movie with the biggest bucket of popcorn you can have. Damn the theaters. Damn Netflix. If you're an avid political junkie like I am, and you follow this shit on a day-to-day basis, I really do. I mean, I follow so much that I don't even have to read too much. I can just read a few headlines, a few articles, a couple paragraphs, read a couple editorials, listen to a couple group interviews, and know exactly the pulse of this mixing pot of political game, this chess game. And it's fascinating, ladies. It's fascinating to follow, to watch, and to see. So, Emotional Witness, I want to be your guide. I want to steer you in the right direction, and let you and expose you to what we're watching, what we're witnessing, because it's huge, it's big, on a national, on a global scale, and a local level. We're all affected. We all play a role. We're all actors in this game. Question is, how serious do we need to take it? As a world, as we've grown to a point where we can handle these issues without going to war, without conflict. So many moving pieces on a day-to-day basis, and I aim to show you that. But like I said, I mean, trying to get back on point, you know, like I said, I was fed up in 2012 of the nonsense, of the Joe Six-packs, of the fluff policies, and the other foreign policy agendas were way off the mark. Invasion of our privacy, the IRS debacle, the Secretary of State debacles, where the Obama administration infiltrated local state Secretary of State offices during election seasons, definitely of 2012. I felt that, I truly feel that Obama stole the 2012 election. I definitely didn't want to vote for Mitt Romney. But, you look what happened in Ohio. You look at these things. And you can say maybe there was some cheating. I think, in that regard there was. If you're ever trading the Secretary of State's database systems, then you're cheating. And then not only that, I mean, the unadulterated drone strikes, the Libya debacle, just some of the officials that are in your background, in your office, advising you on a daily basis. They're back now. They're fucking back in office. When are we going to have term limits? When are we going to change some of this shit up? These nominees. If it smells like a duck, quack like a duck, I always get that shit wrong. It smell like a duck. It look like a duck. If it's a duck, it's a fucking duck. You know? And we aren't to question this stuff. And now we just went from a open administration to a secretive administration. This administration still has not opened their mouths that much. We have still not seen a live press conference from our president in over 100 days. That's very telling. There's been a lot of telling signs in a few that are ominous, that warn, that scare you down the pipeline. So I got tired of BS in 2012. I abstained from voting in 2012. I didn't vote in that election. 2016 came around. I said, okay, let's give this outsider a chance. I like his policies. I like his strong voice. I like his leadership. Despite what the media is telling me, despite the gaslighting, you can tell me all this shit. You can tell me he's a racist. You can tell me he's a bigot. You can tell me he's a misogynist. You can say he's rude. But they don't overcome, in my opinion, that's not enough to overcome the leadership, the familiarity, the openness, the policies. I'm 42 years old, ladies and gentlemen, a black male, married, college graduate, with kids, with the various industries. Came from a big family, a big family, raised by grandparents. So there's a wisdom there. There's a focal point, there's an angle that I see that maybe other people don't see. That's how I feel. Fuck it, I'm taking my confidence level and telling you about it. But what I also saw growing up, my family was a sports family. And we used to watch boxing, a lot of Showtime boxing, a lot of Don King, a lot of Mike Tyson, a lot of Evander Holyfield, you know? And we would watch those fights, and at the end of the fight, we would see Mike Tyson on that white towel, had to beat somebody's ass in 30 seconds, and who would be standing in the background? Don King, and who else? Donald Trump. This is early 90s, mid-90s, late 90s. I'm looking up. The man's in every New York tabloid. He's interviewing with Oprah. When 9/11 happened, he was one of the leaders in 9/11 when those planes crashed to the building, to the Twin Towers. He was right there on TV, providing leadership, his opinion. Go back and look at that stuff. This man is being groomed to run for president. He didn't come out of nowhere. It wasn't just a shot. To me, it wasn't just a shot in the dark or just a chance he was taking because he loved his country. That was one thing, but he over time planned this. And you've seen him, America. If you're in your 40s, you've seen him over the years, decades, in your face. Whether he's on Apprentice on NBC, but before that. I'm saying all this because don't act like you don't know who this guy was or is, and you let the media spin it around and think he was some kind of demon. Hey, I'm just being honest. So, I can't look at what I witnessed. Oh, shit. Anyway, I can't look at what I witnessed and ignore it because someone's telling me to think differently. That would be ignorant. Where I've seen and witnessed and watched someone over my years growing up, and then my grown adult ass at 42 can't think for myself. I gotta let somebody else tell me that he's a racist without explanation. I gotta let some young journalist, fresh out of college, spew nonsense on CNN or MSNBC, telling me how to think. I've been on this planet longer than you. So let's push back, America. Let's just get tired of the bullshit. Phil show emos the fuck I look like. I got a mind for myself. I can think for myself. Who the fuck are you? And that's the boldness you need to get, America. So I encourage you, get your own show. Get your own editorial board. Get your own public speaking platform. Speak back, push back, inform yourself. And if you don't want to inform yourself, come to this show and I'll inform you. And together we will come to the truth. Together. I probably spent about 15 minutes trying to introduce myself. But anyway, that's how I got to this point. I was like, you know what? 2016, let's do this. Let's pick an outsider. 2020, I'm still feeling this outsider. You imagine all these damn investigations that he went through and all the things he's accomplished still, despite, including he's still drained the swamp, still cleaned up his own party in the process right now. Okay, now they lost that 2020 election. In my opinion, it was stolen. And my opinion is that that's what led to this show. Like we need more voices. We need more people to be informed. Even if you don't agree with me, at least you're informed. So when 2022, 2024 comes around, you are ready. You are poised, and you won't be so flabbergasted if the results don't turn in your favor, like millions of Americans have been. 2020 for me was a little bit different though. 2020, I saw the signs. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers changing the rules up. They changed it. Early voting, absentee voting up. So close to the election, you got all these sworn affidavits, all these judges pushing back. I mean, the media's not going to help you. You saw the signs. You're like, man, this motherfucker about to get stolen. Potentially. And it really should have been a landslide, ladies and gentlemen, in favor of Trump. It's just the truth. That's how I feel. And I think we will see that in the midterms. We'll see that reflection again come around in 2022 and 2024 if the voting laws are strengthened or they're not tampered with. And then we have a very close eye on the local level, on the state level this time around. But is it too late? I don't think it's too late, but I think that we're coming on a cusp in America where the Democrats can potentially hold power and keep power for a very long time if Joe Biden is able to pursue his big agenda. You know, we got that $1.9 million trillion package just went through. My man Stephen do another $3 trillion jobs package, infrastructure deal. He's aiming to raise taxes, corporate taxes in particular. What's that do for businesses? Are they leaving? Maybe. I know Ford just sent 900 jobs to Mexico. It's supposed to be the United States. They changed that up. Keystone Pipeline's gone. You know? So what's this hold for America? You know, like I told you, food and gas prices are about to rise. But is this a frail economy that's being propped up? Is it a new economy being created out of thin air? Is it deliberately being destroyed by these various economic packages? What would it do for inflation? You know, the border situation. People are just it's becoming an issue that, you know, we may not be able to control, you know? And I'm really concerned. I don't think the Democrats want to control it. Again, the more immigrants you bring in, the more illegal immigrants you bring into this country, it's going to automatically favor the Democrats. They're the ones providing these benefits that other countries hear about, and they're sending them over. They're not sending their best and their brightest. It's not so hard to. It's not so. It shouldn't be so taboo to say that. You know, just think about that. I mean, if let me give you some weird example. You know, if I have a basketball, if I have a school that has like a plethora of basketball players that can hoop, that are just some killers on the court, but you got school B who had just some runts who really can't play ball, and they say, hey, can you send us some of your players to add to our team? You're not gonna send your best and brightest, your best hoopers, are you? You're gonna send the homies on the bench, so you can have these players. I mean, let's not be taboo about it. That's what other countries are doing. We're not getting the best and the brightest, and that was fine back in 1920 Ellis Island. That was fine back then. We're trying to fill up this country. We're trying to produce. But it's a different level of production now in society that we're looking at. You know? You're looking at society now that is more based on technology, based on your wits and your merit and your technological prowess and your intellect. We need some of those best and brightest from those countries. Just being honest. India, China, Switzerland, anywhere. Africa, anywhere. Mexico, anywhere. But why can't we have a policy that's merit-based? Why can't we have a policy that focuses on strengthening other countries, definitely in our region? So they don't have to send the best and brightest over. I know the drug war is an issue. I know that when a lot of these immigrants come over, that they say, oh, we're fleeing our country because of drug violence and gangs and, corrupt governments. Why do we accept that? Why don't we say, okay, let's figure out a policy that actually corrects that? How can we solve and make these governments better? You know, there's gotta be a solution in saying, okay, we just keep taking them because this is the reason, but the reason that it is, we don't want to solve it. How ass backwards is that? When are we gonna fucking wake up? What the fuck I look like? Phil Show, Emos, The Witness. Hit that like and subscribe button. You can catch me every Monday, Wednesday, Friday live from 10 to 11 a.m. Wave 1 Media, baby. Downtown 120 East Market Street. And if you don't agree with my opinion, my viewpoint, we'll come down here and get you a show. Express it. Bring your opinions to the field. Let's better our culture. Let's better our leadership. Why do we have 80-year-old congressmen in office and we have all these new ideas on the horizon? Can they lead us or slow us down? It's vital. It's vital we get this right, you guys. It's vital. If it ain't for you, if you don't see it, think about your kids. Think about your kids, you know? Think about the trampling we witnessed of our rights over the past 4 years, honestly. Whether it be what we've seen happen in the FISA courts, what we've seen what's happening in these investigations, how they're being ran or how they were run, the media censorship, the big tech censorship, and you know, on Google, Hotmail, Google, Facebook, Twitter, all of them, their own attacks because they're so big. They're so big. They're attacking other countries in lawsuits and various attacks, various methods. How's that gonna look 10 years from now? How does that affect you? The things you want to say, things you want to do. Who's the watchdog? You know, a lot of watchdogs that we've seen over the past decades have now just kind of been infiltrated. They're corrupt. Where are the journalistic societies and symposiums and conferences, the NABJ and, you know, all these journalistic review boards and, you know, that try to uphold some kind of journalistic integrity and value? Where are they? They flipped. They've gone quiet over certain issues the past 4 or 5 years. We need new platforms, new bases of support for the little guy. Because the ones that were there are no longer there anymore. Well, they were wolves in sheep clothing, like I said. Let me turn my laptop back on here. And let me see if I can get back on track. Okay? Emos The Witness, you guys. Hit that like, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hit the like button, subscribe. You can catch me on YouTube, like I said. Let's start growing. Let's start building. Like I said, I started this show for that reason, that purpose. But we're gonna start taking it a little step further. We're gonna start, you know, the website's coming soon, emostowitness.com. I'm gonna start marketing myself more, so I want you guys to, you know, encourage and tell your friends. You know, let's grow this show together. Let's hit that chat. Let's have a conversation. So, like I said, I'm all about defending the Constitution, you guys, and defending our traditional values and fighting against corruption and holding our leaders accountable, and just trying to find various ways to improve this country. That's what I'm trying to do. You know, and under the guise of trying to you know, keep things stable in life. Oh Lord Jesus. Let me keep my focus. Okay. Anyway, yes, this window is very big window. This is a big ass window, and you know, you can tell summertime is here. Summertime is definitely here. That's all I'll say about that. So yeah, this first article I wanted to come across is Amazon drivers must sign biometric consent form or lose their jobs. So I knew this was coming. Like I said, there's always going to be great reasons to steal your privacy. The question is do you allow it and under what circumstances and you know, where's the gray? And this is you know, if you want to be an Amazon driver in the future, now you got to give up all your biometric consent. They need to know where you're going. You know what you're doing at all times when you work for them, or you lose your job. You know, you like, okay, that might be kind of important because they're delivering packages to people's homes, and you kind of need that, you know. But what's that do for your rights? But at least in this situation here, in my opinion, at least you have a chance and opportunity to make that choice. It's not being done arbitrarily under your nose. You decide if you want to work at Amazon or not. and you decide if you want to deal with those policies or not. So just dig into a little bit of this article here. I'm going to read a little bit of it. It said Amazon is giving its delivery drivers an ultimatum: give up your privacy or give up their jobs. The e-commerce colossus is forcing its roughly 75,000 U.S. delivery drivers to sign a biometric consent form, allowing the company to track them with high-tech cameras, the new report says. The camera is made by transporting tech company Nitrodyne. Will snap photos of drivers to confirm their identities and potentially create biometric information about them, according to a copy published by Motherboard. The form, which the drivers are reportedly supposed to sign this week, does not specify what biometric info the cameras will collect. But Nitrodyne's technology is capable of detecting when the driver yawns, talks on the phone, or isn't wearing a seatbelt, the company presentation shows. Well, see, that's a little too invasive, don't you think? Yawning, talking on the phone, or isn't wearing a seatbelt, that's pretty draconian. I just want you should just, in this situation, you should probably just know where I'm at. Okay, did the shit deliver or not? But if I fart and yawn and snore and talking on the phone, or I'm not wearing a seatbelt. I mean, the car warns you if you're not wearing your seatbelt, but I guess if you don't wear your seatbelt and Amazon finds out, they may fire you, right? Man, how can you work for a company like that? I'm being honest. I mean, you think about that. And how's that going to look? How are you going to feel in like 3 years, 5 years? You're going to wake your ass up and go to work every day like, damn, man, they're watching me. They're watching me. As soon as you open your eyes, they're watching me. As soon as they clock in, they're watching me. And then it's going to get worse. New policies, new procedures. What if you have new policies, new procedures, but no reporting? How about that? How about you have new policies and new procedures and you don't know about it? And then you're trapped in this situation. I'm talking about you not knowing about it, the outside individual. While the Amazon employee is slowly falling into like an indentured servitude type situation, a big brother type situation, and they can't even really speak about it. They will lose a job. No, you may think that may sound a little delirious or a little far fetched, but history repeats itself. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything that doesn't dispute what has happened in the past. That's how unions were formed. To fight back against big corporations and corporate greed and subjugation of their and poor working conditions of their employees. So you must stay vigilant on that front. But you also got to stay vigilant on the union front. Make sure they don't corrupt themselves, like the teachers union. See how it is. See how human nature is. So I'm jumping around again, but I don't want to jump around too much. But the shooting this past weekend. Rest in peace for the 10 individuals that lost their lives in Colorado yesterday, and the same thing in I'm not sure I got the numbers right. Same thing in what happened in Florida, I believe. What happened to the shooting spree, targeted a lot of Asian Americans.
That was Atlanta, Georgia.
Was that Atlanta?
That was Atlanta,
okay. Yeah. So rest in peace, and my prayers go out to their family and friends and loved ones on a very serious level. But what bothers me about this issue, about this topic, is we need to continue to battle racism. Yes, we need to continue. And you know what always strikes me and really as a hair scratcher to me, Malik, is that a lot of these shooting incidents always seem to happen in the early parts of a new administration. Remember that Vegas shooting in the Trump administration? You remember? Do you hear about that? Remember that?
Yeah.
They shot down MGM?
Yeah, I definitely remember that.
What happened with that? I mean, that shit was barely talked about, swept under the rug. I mean, you heard little clips, but at the same time, it was just like we knew there was I don't want to get into that, but it was very sketchy. I just sometimes I kind of scratch my head like, damn, man, every time the new administration comes along, there seems to be these mass shootings. And then there's always a discussion about changing the gun laws. Okay? Well, my question, from a different point of view, is why can't we talk about the mental health aspect? What drives these people to want to do these things? Because that's not normal. It's maniacal. If we get rid of guns, won't they just pick up knives or some other kind of weapon? What's the mentality about? And what are we doing to protect families and individuals who are around these people? Can we address the whole institution as a whole? And I don't want to go into that too much as far as my position as far as changing that industry, because it's a moneymaker too. But there needs to be some separation of services. just to say briefly, mental health is a big issue. It's bigger than any hospital, any police department, any family counselor can handle to manage themselves, or on top of what their daily tasks are. You take that bad boy, that bad topic out from the darkness and bring it to light. We need a whole new healthcare overall, mental healthcare overall, that's separate from our normal healthcare. Because that's what leads to a lot of the family distress, a lot of domestic violence issues, and a lot of these shootings. I don't know why that just seems like it's so much that's common sense to me. What's holding that up? Why can't we get that to go? But maybe it's not common sense. Maybe it's hard to make a decision like that. Maybe people use it as a political hot button, and it works during election season to talk about guns. It's the vision of America. I'm all about protecting myself though. And if I'm able to do it myself, I'm trying to. You can't rely solely on the government to help you in a time of despair, this time of need. Sometimes you need immediate reactions. And I think if you have a deterrent like a gun, it's important. So I'm all for right to bear arms, and I'm all about looking at the mental health aspect of some of these actions that we see. How can we fix those things? How can we make the family better? How can we strengthen the family bond and the friendship bond? How can we stop being so divisive? But I mean, back to the topic. Quit running on tangents. Like I said, so this is another invasion of privacy that, you can take it for what it's worth. But I mean, if you want to work at Amazon in the future, just make sure you willing to sign your life away, essentially, all your rights. I mean, you might as well just fucking move into the building at this point. Just fucking set up a cot inside Amazon and make sure, maybe just get you one of the big rigs and they gonna know everything you do. They just come into my house, But maybe they're a little paranoid. Maybe Amazon a little bit paranoid. But hey, if the price is right, then maybe you want to give up some of these rights, in exchange for them making sure that the deliveries are secure. So another article that I noticed is, let's get on the COVID though. Declining a COVID-19 vaccine risks penalties in some countries. So Indonesia levies fines, while other governments warn of restricting access to travel in public places. Yeah, it's coming, guys. And I actually read an article the other day that that some of these arenas that are opening up are actually making sections of the basketball court or the arena. Like, if you had a vaccine, then you can sit in this area. So it's gonna be that's what's gonna happen, you guys. That's what's next, Malik. You get the vaccine or you don't. And if you get the vaccine, you're normal. If you don't get it, you're a weirdo. And if you do get it, you can go wherever you want.
When you said that, it reminded me for some reason of kind of like how water fountains colored and non-colored.
Yeah.
I just imagine vaccine and not vaccine water fountains.
That's what's going on. I mean, this article, to not get into it, it's pretty much saying that I didn't really. Oh, I gotta. Damn it! I'm not about to subscribe to the Wall Street Journal, but I can read a little bit of this right now. It basically said, with vaccination campaigns ramping up globally and some supply shortages are easing, governments are looking for ways to make sure that holdouts don't undermine the effort to vaccinate enough people to achieve herd immunity. So the penalties range from fines and restricting access to public places and threatening a loss of priority access to the vaccine. So, I mean, if you don't really want the vaccine and the vaccine is still not preventing infections of those who get it, then what's the point of getting the vaccine? Like I said, there's so much mixed messaging going on. There's so much data that's not been fully fleshed out. Definitely when it comes to women and pregnancies. And then now you're trying to gild us or make us feel a certain way if we don't get it. We don't take it. And now we have to be restricted. They're going to force you one way, hell or high water to take this vaccine. Or taking one of them. And I guess in this situation to reach herd immunity, but I mean, I think they truly want you to have it. You know? Are you going to take it, America, or are you going to try to dodge? Me personally, I'm going to dodge for a little bit longer. I am, man. Are you going to get it? No, they hope it's like 40 and under now, I think, to get the vaccine.
I wouldn't get it if they paid me enough out. No, because if they're paying you, it would be something. I wouldn't. I
don't know much. I don't know much about it yet. You know what I mean? Like I've heard. You know, that's actually, you know, and I've shared a couple of stories that I've seen on that we tweeted about. And we questioned this if it's true or not, if it's valid. But I've still come across some of these postings where people said, "Oh, I've got this first shot and I'm sick as fuck." You know what I'm saying? But I haven't really posted on that stuff because I don't think there's been enough of reporting thus far to really kind of make that a big headline yet. But there have been some side effects, and that's normal with medicine and vaccinations from what I've read. But yeah, the people are pushing back, and some people are getting sick. I mean, there was an AstraZeneca. I mean, they're still trying to improve this stuff. I mean, Moderna's come out with a new version of their vaccine now that's supposed to be new and improved. And that's why I'm mad. I'm like, I'll wait till you improve this shit. I'll wait till it actually works. I'm not your fucking guinea pig. You see what I'm saying? So don't force me. I won't go nowhere. Now you're gonna force me to walk around with a card. Let's go to the next article. Well, let's not go to the next article, but let's see what I mean. Look, we're opening up a society, and obviously China's like, shit, we gotta keep up. Look what they're doing in China if you're not wearing your mask. Can you show them this video, man? Look at this shit, you guys. Let's put the volume 2 on this.
Boy, you done yo, doggone, man, go put that doggone mask on. Huh? Where your mask at? Huh? Go down there and get one. Right doggone now before I bop you.
Get one.
I ain't playing with y'all this time. Where your mask at, player? Go get the doggone mask. Around here talking to Ira. That's right, put it on. Don't play with me. I see you. I almost hit you, boy. I said over your mouth, not your eyes. Where is it? Huh? Go get it. Go get it, doggone it. Next one come down, I'm gonna bop him upside the head. You better hurry up and put it on. Go get it, doggone it. Go get it. Chinese checkers. Huh? Yeah. Don't play with me. Where is it? Play with your mammy. Go play with your mammy. Go play with your mammy, doggone it. Come up from down them steps. You see it's bringing you right back down to me. Put that mask on and get out of here. Go get it. I'm finna hit you. Where you going? Why you ain't on? Huh? Ah, that's what I thought.
Hey, is that kind of society? You gonna go to the Mama League or you ordering online? What you gonna do, man? You gonna order? You take an escalator to hell?
Boy, you.
Hey, look, man. They're doing. We just saw the video. They're doing that. I don't know if that's China or not.
That was definitely not China. Those were all like white people.
Yes, I know. He was beating their ass. It was an Asian dude beating up white people coming down the escalators. Pretty much what we saw. I mean, the police dude was Asian. How we know it's not? We go back and rewind that again.
White to me.
Let's go back. That wasn't China. You mean to tell me the whole skit was Ireland?
To be honest,
boy, you yo, doggone.
So that ain't an Asian dude right there getting hit or he hitting.
You're telling me this looks like an Asian dude to you?
Well, he has a mask on, the hat, but yeah, it's the standard. To me, that was a standard baton wielding hip play. Let me see. I don't want to. My eyes are kind of bad, I guess. Oh, that is a different. Are you sure?
To me, that's a white guy for sure.
To me, that could be a.
How where your man say?
Look at all these white Singapore. Well, they're tourists. I'm telling you, they're tourists.
Huh?
No, you're right.
Look, the back of his jacket isn't in Mandarin, I believe. Yeah. Looks like
it says
ox
PX.
pod. I don't know what that means.
Man, let me see a couple swings, man. Those are Asian swings.
Huh?
Man.
Go down there and get one. Right doggone now before I bop you. I ain't playing with y'all this time. Where your mask at, player? Go get the.
What's that
go
say?
get the doggone mask.
Oxpena.
Right here.
Oxpana. Oxpeha. Pa, see? I'm gonna look that up real quick. We investigate here in much, you guys. What does Oxpana mean?
That's Dutch. They were in Dutch.
Dutch. Okay, so the Dutch are fucking people up. Hey, I'm sorry, China. I apologize. Okay? Okay, so you wasn't you guys.
Wait, it might be Russian.
What does Oxpana mean, Russia, Reddit?
Either way it goes, it wasn't in China. Wait. Technically, isn't Russia in Asia? So
yeah, well, you know, it's Eastern Europe, right? That's Western Asia. Eastern Asia, yeah. That's Asia. But Dutch, would that be Eastern Europe, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, it's like Western Europe. Yeah, shit, I don't know. But yeah, okay. So yeah, we like to fact check and correct here at Emos to Witness, you know. But the point of the story is, you know, are we getting too draconian with this stuff? Like I said, with all the mixed information and everything, you got people in the mall getting beat up in certain countries if you don't have your mask. Man, you know, put that mask on. You know, but also in other countries, if you don't get the vaccine, you may get a fine. You may not be able to go places. So I'm thinking we're gonna be frowned. Man, I don't know. Man, this is crazy. If you don't get the vaccine and say like, okay, let me ask you, Malik. Okay, say like 80% of the country got the vaccine. Do you want to be part of that 20%?
Yes, I don't. I'm not. I don't.
You don't think that over time they may look at you like as a lesser human in society?
Unless they're putting a damn patch on me like I'm a Jew during the Holocaust.
I'm worried. That's what I'm worried that they got this card. Look, that's the next article. You see the card?
I see the card.
They got a fucking card out here. Like if you like a vaccine check. Like how many vaccines did you get this year? Like man, I'm telling you, man. Drivers must sign their lives away. You know, get the shot, or you may get fined in other countries. You got the Dutch hitting you with batons coming down the escalator. You know what I'm saying? If you're not wearing your mask. Can you imagine the old lady running into like a porcelain shop? Like, oh, I got the last vase. Oh, and she goes down the motherfucking escalator. If you have to put her mask on, she gets smacked in the back of the head, and then the vase falls out of her hand and crashes onto the ground. And you know what I'm saying? They passed a lawsuit. I'm on a tangent. They passed a lawsuit saying you can't fucking sue corporations anymore over COVID. So she ain't gonna get no money for that shit. And she lost her vase or her time at the mall. But that's a simple form. But it can always get to a point because Americans and people all across the world are defiant too. We're not trying to wear that. I mean, we're seeing spring breakers. We're seeing 24-hour curfew lockdowns in Miami. We're seeing people fight at the airport. We see healthcare officials push back not wanting the vaccine. So it's going to be a constant, battle. And we got to stay informed, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Emos the Witness, The Phil Show. So what the fuck I look like, you ladies and gentlemen? Huh? How are we going to get this society better if we don't speak about these issues openly and candidly? Because I told you, the mainstream media is not opening up any doors in your favor right now. They have an agenda that they're pushing full-fledged, full speed ahead. All right, let me dig a little bit further before I, you know what I'm saying? I'll be trying to close this show out for once where I can get through all the topics that I want to get to. But there's so much shit going on in society that I got to make sure that you guys frame it. Man, this is like the third time. All right, keep focused. Let's go. Let's see. So, and I try to be a show in an hour. So, like I said, there's a lot to cover, and mostly on this show, pretty much today, I covered all the potential dangers that this vaccine can hold down in the future. As far as how we manage it across the world, and again, I'm worried about how this country is being managed as a whole, and Biden is spending like crazy in its early part of his agenda, and I want to move into Friday's freestyle episode on top of talking about the greed of the Obama administration, and kind of start digging into the past, like I told you, so we can start holding some of these past issues and start seeing some accountability, so we can start seeing some real review, at least from the people, saying what the fuck happened like the last 8 years. My head is spinning. And the vaccine is this whole pandemic is on top of that. That's on top of that. But there's a lot of things that have to be reviewed, man. And you got to kind of like make sure you bring everybody to light and inform, because things are being changed and being reviewed as we speak now. And that's some things we got to kind of understand and kind of dive into and try to correct in a way. How the hell do you have one administration that's pushing their agenda along full speed ahead, whether it be Operation Warp Speed, whether it be America First, whether it be anything, and then they're out of office, and then this new administration comes in and just reviews everything and changes everything up 360. And I'm talking about foreign policy and immigration. I'm talking about everything, So we're gonna dig into that. You got a Biden he's introducing a $3 trillion job package. You know, it's gonna focus on jobs and infrastructure. Of course, you know, you got Republicans pushing back. And I'm gonna just summarize what I'm talking about now because it's 11 o'clock and I want to close this show out. But we're gonna talk about this on Friday. In particular, we're gonna talk about, you know, all this spending and immigration and how it ties in economically. And most importantly, is that, you know, how fast are we moving? Because like I said, there's a, you know, actually, I want you to go ahead. Let's go ahead and just touch on this real quick. Malik, can you kick on that article from Axios where it says Biden prepared to chuck filibuster and historic push to re-engineer America? Yeah, it's right there. Biden, that's the one. Actually, the one next to it. No. Do you have it up there? Oh, there. Let me see. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah. So as you know, there's a filibuster in rule in Congress where, you know, any kind of bill that's pretty much basically any bill that's passed in the House needs support by either 10 Republicans or 10 Democrats based on who's in power at the time, who controls the House. And, you know, Biden, you know, like I said, in my opinion, there is no mandate on this administration. This administration did not win by some large margin as some of the media want to portray. And I think wholeheartedly it's the opposite. But that's another show, another day. And we're still monitoring it. We're monitoring all this stuff. We're touching on all this stuff every show. You know, whether it be election integrity results, whether it be past investigations, whether it be future investigations, and current policy reviews and changes. We're all over all that. And on top of that, we talking about sports in Hollywood and everything they want to do in the Sun, because there's a lot of influence in those realms as well. And we got to hold everybody accountable that wants to speak to us and speak about us and change our viewpoints. But in this situation here, Biden knows he has no mandate, and he knows he has a short window with controlling the executive branch, the legislative, and the judicial, you know, halls of Congress, all that. He knows he has a plan. He knows he has a window to make a lot of big changes. My opinion is that we need to stop that. But if you don't stop this filibuster, Chuck, that he's attempting to do, then it's over. Democrats will be able to push any policy, any law they want and pass it with no problem. Do you want that? Don't you want some kind of dissension? Don't you want some kind of measuring stick, some kind of review, make sure that this doesn't happen? This $1.9 trillion bill, that happened. It was no Republican support, and they did not need it. They skirted by skirting the rules. So I really feel like, you know, but this filibuster rule it helps in certain ways. But if you chuck it, then, like this article says, Biden's going to be re-engineering America quickly. Now, is that for the good or for the bad? You know, and again, like next episode, I want to talk about that in more detail and how that affects the economy. And if this economy is being propped up. Is this economy genuine? Or is this economy failing and we just can't, and even though there's tea leaves out there, we're being spruced up by huge bills and stimulus packages that are going to keep recurring. And, you know, are we trying to pump up? We also have tax hikes and increases. You have an immigration issue, and you have all this money being printed out of thin air. How does all that culminate, and then you compare it to the global economy and the rise of China, and the rise of all these new economic tools? You know, there's so many ways to pass money around it. You know, a lot of countries are finding new ways to skirt the U.S. dollar. So how is that going to hold us and affect us into the future? How strong is our buying power? We have inflation coming around the corner. We all this increased spending and all this increased debt. I'm not trying to be some kind of bearer of bad news, but this information you can't ignore. We ignored it for too long as a nation. So let's put our big boy pants on and address some of these issues. I truly feel that the previous administration was doing that. Reciprocal trade, clean up the swamp, clean up corruption. Who doesn't want that? You know, less spending. You know, less spending and more diversity. In industries that spear competition and lowers prices. In particular, prescription drug prices, Medicare prices. We're all on track for all that. Are we still on track? I don't see it. Not with these new policies coming down the pipeline. you know. But this article, it says it's four things that are pushing the Biden to jam through what could we amount to a $5 trillion plus overhaul of America and vast changes to voting, immigration, and inequality. Number one, he has a full party control of Congress and a short window to go big. He has party activists egging him on. He has a strong gathering economic winds at his back. I don't, maybe because we're coming to the spring and summer season, but like I told you guys, we had an increase in jobs, but 90% of that was in the food and restaurant industries of liberal cities that were bound to open up because of the season and because of COVID. Okay, so look to other sectors and what's going to happen in the future, this fall, this winter. You remember, Biden just said it's going to be a nuclear winter, didn't he? So you think about that. Maybe this is the calm before the storm, you guys. It always happens. I just want to be a witness, and I'm emo, so I'm the witness, and I want to expose this stuff, and I want to bring it to your attention. Don't let a stimulus check distract you. Be vigilant, secure, protect yourself. So they don't tell what the future is going to hold. Biden's going to look up in November and say, I told you motherfuckers it's going to be a nuclear winter. What you expect? He's going to be able to say that and be true about it. So you got to start taking these politicians seriously with their words, their wordplay, and how they twist things. Now, I'm going to say, he might be a modern day FDR. He could be, As the article states, the parallels include the New Deal economic relief Franklin Roosevelt brought in 1933, which saved the country from depression and chaos. Maybe he is the president that will save us from depression and chaos, But I mean, we're not. When he got elected, we weren't experiencing depression and chaos. We were experiencing a different kind of chaos, politically, socially, as we always have. But again, I see political buttons being pushed. I'm seeing political issues and topics being addressed and pushed to the forefront in election season, and it was more heated than ever this past season because Democrats lost power and they threw a temper tantrum for 4 years. And 2020 was just the culmination of that. The result of that was them gaining power back. So we're going to see what they're going to do. Hopefully there will be no mandate. Hopefully there'll be some pushback in Congress. Hopefully the Republicans will be able to do what they can do to survive into the midterm elections, and hopefully they can get some kind of power back. And then we see what's to be held in 2024. But there are some things to be encouraged about. I'm looking at Trump sort of his own social media platform. I see a lot of review on a state level of voting rules and what happened in 2020. And hopefully everybody's prepared to see a different result in 2022 in the midterms. But we can't let one side of the political spectrum control all society's laws, and change them at a whim, at a snap of a finger, because there's no filibuster. So those are things we got to worry about and watch out for. So I want to talk about that on Friday and where our economy is truly heading. I want to dig into the Obama administration a little bit and some of the corruption, some updates on the investigations, where it comes to the Russian investigation itself, and just where we are with the Ukraine investigation and the China issues, if they're still even digging into any of that with Hunter Biden. And we want to talk about some of the salary increases and some of the wealth gathering that a lot of these officials achieved or gained since 2009, and how it's being reported in comparison to Trump and his family. Vast, stark difference. And if you don't hear the two differences and you don't look up and say, what the fuck I look like, then you're not engaged, you're not informed, and you're just going with the groupthink. And that same groupthink is what's leading to a division of the society of this country. And we can't let leaders deceive us. We can't let leaders like Barack Obama, I'm not keep harping on him, but he just recently came out another tweet. A message regarding the shooting. And it goes to my point, for real clear politics, there was a tweet from Obama, a statement from President Obama regarding the shooting in Atlanta and Colorado. And one thing he said is, I'll just read this paragraph on here real quick. It is long past time for those with the power to fight this epidemic of gun violence to do so. It will take time to root out the disaffection, racism, and misogyny that fuel so many of these senseless acts of violence. But we can make it harder for those with hate in their heart to buy weapons of war. We can overcome opposition by cowardly politicians and the pressure of a gun lobby that opposes any limit on the ability to anyone's assemble an arsenal. We can and we must. Now, I mean, like I said, man, it just every time there's an issue, every time there's gun violence on this level, is where politicians want to step out and attack the gun lobby or attack the right to bear arms. And this is where I pivot, and I get on my horse and I talk to you guys about mental health. You know, he's talking about hate in their hearts. Maybe it's mental health in their heads. You know, you want to root out disaffection and racism and misogyny. You know, you got a long way to go. But guns is not the answer. And I'm not quite sure what the answer is. But I think that, you know, racism and misogyny and disaffection, things like that, I mean, it's going to take time to educate. And it's about maturity, isn't it? It's about ideals and the way people think. But, you know, at the same time, it's, to me, they're in some ways, they're distractions. They're distractions from bigger issues. You know, you're stuck on talking about racism and who hates who. And, you know, in my opinion, in the bottom line, you know, in my opinion, we're all racist. Like I said, we all have some kind of bias, and we all get tribal when push comes to shove, when the shit gets hot. We all go to our tribe in favor of that. And so it's all distraction. Just take out the hate. Bring in love. And try to find a way to heal people's mental health. Find a better way to manage it. And we can find a better way to manage guns, but I think that it's all right, and that we need to secure and keep for various reasons. And my main reason for me is that authoritative buffer. You know, that Paul Revere shit. That, you know what I'm saying? Like that we the people shit, man. In case somebody gets too tyrannical in leadership, we have a buffer. We have our own weapons to defend ourselves. No different if somebody comes to a bank or a grocery store shooting up the place. That immediate deterrent is someone in there with a gun who has a common sense and responsibility to pull it out and defend the people in there, instead of waiting on the cops while everybody gets shot up. You have to put various protections in place. Yeah, but if you handle the mental health aspect, you might be able to root out some of these crazies. No, I don't think a teenager should have assault weapons arsenal. But honestly, man, if they're eligible, that's their right. How do you balance someone who is in the streets with an arsenal versus someone who is, you know, in the wilderness, I guess, hunting and being like using it for those various aspects? How the motherfucker in the city even get all those guns? Let's address some. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's just so much, like so much entanglement. And I just think that it's an issue when I see a former president like a Barack Obama come out and speak like this, because he's speaking on a topical level. He's not trying to really get to the root cause. He's just trying to push an agenda to get rid of guns. For what purpose? What end? I don't know. But there are a lot of purposes, a lot of ends that could be. And I don't want to see what could be. When I know those people who are pushing the agenda have a different agenda that's different between you and I. I don't want to run too far. I don't want to get on any tangents, but that's how I feel about that issue. And it makes me feel even further that this gentleman, this former president, is more of a divider. You know, his words divide this country more than they bring it together, if you really look at it. So, you know, every time he speaks out, it's you know, you look at, man, if you look at, and I will get into this, his behavior after his post-presidency has been one could argue, of treasonistic, you know. Moving down the street from the White House, him and Eric Holder gerrymandering certain parts of the country, changing up the votes. That's what they've been doing the last 4 years. On the low, walking around trying to change the voting laws in various key states. Speaking out against the president more than any other former president. Reckless. I think his CIA, his Secret Service code word was renegade. let's say and then like I said, the foreign policy was really the foreign policy and the do nothing, fake policies, and the failure of his Medicare, Obamacare, all that stuff is what swayed me away from the Democratic Party. And then the post actions, the attacks after Clinton lost the election in 2016, all those things, man, made me come out and produce this show and made me change my viewpoints about leadership in this country and how it needs to get better. It's too corrupt. But anyway, I'm gonna touch on that on Friday. I want to get off this mic. I don't want to be too long. Again, like I said, I'm here with a witness. Catch me downtown every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 10 to 11 a.m. live at 120 East Market Street, a live show. And then you catch the recordings, the uploads on Spotify. Please like me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube, and my website is coming soon as well. emoswitness.com. So again, I want you guys to have a wonderful end of the week. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you guys on Friday. And I'm out.